Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond, and I'm coming to you live from my supine position. I'm not in any way, shape, or form in any condition to get up and go sit in my chair in the cold, and I'm not going to do it. I'm too tired, too exhausted. I've been pushing too hard, literally. So I'm going to wait just a couple minutes, see if anybody gets on. I think probably somebody will, hopefully. If not, it'll be up there as a recording when I upload it later. I'll probably do about 15, 20 minutes, I don't know. Maybe an hour. Do I have water? Yeah, I gotta have water. I don't need anything else, but I do have some. I got a vinegar, lemon, cayenne, seaward curry drink. Anybody gonna get on here? Gaddy Anton. Jim, you out there? Sarge, roll call. All right. Okay, well, number one, since somebody's going to be on right away, well, I have my nose. You can see something sticking out of my nose. I got two things in my nose, and one is a nose vent, and the other one's a little magnet thing, a rare earth magnet thing, a clip. And they are game changers. The clip alone is pretty awesome, because I did use it when I just that, but these open up, they get different sizes. These are open up your nostrils, and they just are phenomenal. I mean, they are just so wonderful. And then this is a little magnet clip. Where's the camera up there? I assume they're rare earth magnets. Boom, they click. So anyway, they're good. Gizmos and gadgets, that's me, you know. Probably comes from watching Get Smart and a lot of science fiction, reading the science fiction over the years. I don't know. But if there's a way to make things better, I'd like to do it. I like to hack things. I like to tweak things. I like to fix things. I like to crack the code on things. I like to invent things. And that's going to be happening now. You know, it's interesting. I have been waiting for something to happen for 20 years. I've been working for 20 years, you know, balls out, balls to the walls, pedal to the metal, you know, full bore. In fact, in 1993, I've been doing preparedness for 13 years, from 1980, okay? Had a picture of tents in across a pasture field, and I knew that if I didn't do something, I knew that they were refugees. Number one, I knew that they were refugees. I just knew it in my heart. There's no reason for, there's no reason for those tents to be there unless they were homeless people. They were refugees. And if I don't do something to help them, some of them or all of them are going to die. So I started working toward that goal in 1980. By 1993, I was so bummed out, depressed, and discouraged because I was the only one doing it. I knew nobody doing it. I read all of the survival guide, American Survival Guide, and Soldier of Fortune and all that. And in spite of the fact that I was reading all this stuff, I missed somehow, I don't know how the hell, I missed Waco, and I missed Randy Weaver. I didn't hear about that stuff till afterwards. Anyway, I digress. My point is, rewind, 1993, I was going to quit. And I literally said, God, I'm going to get a job, first time ever in my life, you know, a real job with a retirement. No, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to be normal, and I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to get a job, be normal, and buy a house. Boom, I woke up. He slapped me upside the head with what's going on, you know. And I immediately realized that, and it was a Vietnam vet that talked to me about it, you know, told me about what was going on. Foreign troops in the country and this and that, black helicopters and FEMA camps and guillotines and all that rigmarole that gets boring after you've heard it for 13 years. Anyway, my point is this, that I hope you can hear this okay. I'm trying to hold it up, but I might hold it a little bit cockeyed. I don't know if that does work. So, yeah, I was going to quit. Boom. I woke up second waking up, 1980 and then 1993. Two Shemitahs, one Shemitah apart, 81, 80, 87, 93. Okay. Anyway, woke up again. And we went from watching the Broncos, Super Bowl, Craig Morton, whoever it was, maybe John Elway at the time. I don't know who was the quarterback then, but, Super Bowl teams. And went from watching that to nothing. We did not turn the TV on for anything other than watching, biblical videos, spiritual videos, and patriot stuff and militia stuff. Didn't watch any TV. Went 100% preparedness, hardcore preparedness. By 2000, by 1999, the Y2K was coming around, and we went even more, and we opened a business, Pilgrim's Products. You can still see them on the Angel Fire website. Cylinder stoves out of Cedar City, Utah, and British Burkfield, water filters, Night Star, flashlights. Just about 200 products going by the end of the year. But I'm trying to lay a ground for something here. So I've worked my ass off for a long time, 40 years, 44 years now, 1980. I've been working for this point in time. For this point in time right now, people, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me, people. Open your ears. Listen here and listen, because this is going to get dead serious. I'm talking dead serious for some of you. Like, you may not survive the next few days or a few weeks if you don't listen. Or if you listen and you ignore me, you may not make it. All right, so that's how important it is. So shut up and listen. If you're a man, stop talking, stop thinking, and listen. A man can only do one of three things. They can either talk, listen, or think. Can't do all three. Can't do two of them. Only can do one at a time. So shut up and listen. If you're a woman, you can do 50 things at a time. Okay, I got you. But at least listen to me with your ears. Open your ears. Listen and hear and listen. Look and see and look. Okay. I'm not much to look at, but oh well. Look at me. Read my lips. Read my lips and look at my eyes. Okay, so I'll try not to move this too much. So whole hog. I've been doing this for a long time, people. I've been preparing for this time. And there's hundreds, literally hundreds of problems you're going to be facing, that we are going to be facing as a people. And I'm going to address one of those, a really big one tonight, and that is speaking evil. Okay. Speaking evil and, gossiping, of course, is wrong. Paul says that I would that the younger widows, women, there's only three words in the Bible for women: wife, widow, and prostitute, hooker. What do you call them? Harlot. Okay. Three grades of women. There is no single woman. There's no word for single woman. Paul says, if a woman is single, she's been divorced or she's been basically widowed. And he says, I would that younger widows remarry, or younger women should remarry, because if they're not under coverture, they don't have protection from Satan and protection from the evil forces of the world. A woman that's not under coverture is in bad shape, is in a very precarious situation, because Satan is the accuser of the brethren. And that's what we got going on right now, is Satan is accusing people. As far as I know, good people, several good people. So I'm going to address that tonight. I'm going to not go into it right now. I'm going to just lay some groundwork here. Okay. So listen to me. Shut up and listen. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I'm dead French word serious. Okay. Flying fig serious. Listen to me. Listen to me, people. Hear and listen. Listen and hear. All right. So, Houston, we have a problem. I'm going to point out a few things. A woman should be under coverture, and there's women out there that are not under coverture and they're causing problems. I don't know the history of this whole situation out there in North Carolina. I'm addressing North Carolina. Okay, that's in the title. So if you've seen the title, you should be aware of that already. That's what I'm going to be talking about. I don't know all the players out there. I know a lot of them. I've my daughter. I got skin in the game. I got family in the game. My daughter lives in Swannanoa. Okay, they did not. They weren't affected too bad except loss of water, but they lived in an Airbnb for a while. Friends of theirs had an Airbnb on their property, so they stayed there for a while. They're back in their house, as far as I know. She's been out to visit twice while the water's being turned on, and then she's there out for Thanksgiving again. Now I have 2 grandsons there. My son-in-law, I love him. My daughter, who's so precious to me. And I realized did not find out about the hurricane until like 2 or 3 days after it happened. And a friend of mine called and said, "Hey, there's some bad things going on there. A really bad hurricane, worse in history." I said, "Nah, you'll have worse." And he goes, "No." He said, "This was horrific." When he told me about propane tanks putting around in the, it was 11/11 that I said that. Broken out and putting, outgassing the propane in the river, just putting around like a jet boat. I thought, that's weird. I've never heard that before. So I knew it was bad, but I started seeing more and more. I started watching videos. But when it hit me that my daughter and my 2 grandsons, my 2 youngest grandsons and my son-in-law could all be dead and buried and and people are not able to find the bodies of their wives and their husbands and their kids. One man this is 2 or 3 weeks after it happened, right? Maybe 2 months after it happened. The other day, he's walking out of his house, finally able to get back into the house, walking out with pictures, pictures of his family. Parents, kids, wife. That's all he has left of all of his family is pictures. I mean, they're just horrific. Nothing like this ever happened in history, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. So, really bad situation, and we don't need to make it worse, okay? That's one thing. We don't need to make it worse. And people are getting all high and mighty and judgmental and critical, and I'm going to address that from a biblical, technical, theological, biblical aspect, okay? What does Paul say? Younger widows need to remarry because they go around from house to house spreading gossip and rumors, That's what women do. They're good at it. Now, those times I've been around men that are just as bad, groups of men that are just so infected with, I don't know, gossip, evil spirits, basically, evil spirits, bad stuff. I've seen them before. I've seen it before, pal. I don't know how much my battery's got. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. There's a light on there. I don't think I can check it. Probably not. Let's plug in. It should be all right. Okay. I'm not totally losing it, but I'm not too far from it. I've got some sleep to catch up on. Okay. So I'm laying the groundwork, okay? So I've been preparing for this point in time for 44 years, people. 44 years, that's a lot of time. And when I'm talking prepare, I mean, I'm talking reading, studying, researching, thinking things, figuring things out, inventing things, tweaking things, cracking the code on things, whether it be chemical formulas and scientific principles and physics, laws of physics and science and mathematics and everything, language, history, music, put everything together, put it all together. The company that I helped start, Tuning Element, was called Tuning Element because a tuning fork is what you do to, get on the right pitch, right? Pitch perfect. The technology was mine from going back to 3rd grade. I mean, I'm just saying something that made that all come to happen, made it possible to happen. Was something I wrote about in 3rd grade and remembered. I can't remember what it is now. I won't remember until I get to heaven. But if I get to heaven. But the technology was not mine, but what God had shown me, the Father had shown me, that was my work, based on my life's work, entire life of work, studied and researched. I had the brain, the mind to do it because of the way I'd been brought up, really studied from birth. had a really good education, parochial school education, and I could read, I can write, I can do mathematics. I can understand a lot of stuff that most people don't even have a clue about. Okay, so my point is this. I was prepared for that, and 44 years I've been working toward this point in time. All right, I want to say that again. 44 years. Now, along with all the studying and researching, for 20 years or better, I've been spending about half my income on products and devices and things, testing them out to know if they work or not, tweaking them. If they're good, I make them better. If I invent something that's cheaper, a way to do it, a better way to do it, or a totally different way to do it. I figured the other day, I was talking to a guy out there. I'm going to mention a couple names here. A military guy. I won't mention his name, but he's associated with one of the boots on the ground groups out there. Okay, it's getting some bad rap. And we were talking, and I said, well, about every week, something new would come along. I said, no, this has been going on for like 20 years since I went online. Now, maybe not so intensely for the first 10 years, but about 2008, I finally found out what was wrong with me. I knew I had a mental problem. Okay, a mentally challenged. I knew that was a fact. I had told my wife before we ever got married, I said, look, there's something wrong with me, and I don't know what it is. I know there's something wrong with me. I'm weird. I'm so different from everybody else in the world. I said, you have never met a man in your entire life that's like me, and you need to understand that. So if we get married, if we're thinking about getting married, if we're going to get married, you need to understand that our marriage is going to be different. It's going to be weird, strange. Oh, yeah. She just wanted to get out of the house, her parents' house. She didn't care. She does not remember me having that conversation. I went over that 30 times. You don't understand. I'd rephrase it. No, you don't understand. You're not listening. Anyway, so my point is that needed it rewind. I've been preparing for this point in time. And I figured I was talking to this guy yesterday, and I think it was yesterday. Days are kind of running together. And this is important. Okay, now listen. Listen and hear and listen, people. Father. I went to my first refuge meeting in 2009. We called it The Gathering down in Arkansas. I don't remember where it was. And the second one was at Devil's Den. First one was somewhere else. And we called it The Gathering. Okay, it was about how to develop farms and homes and whatever, ranches or whatever, to places of refuge for people as they come in here to the Ozark Plateau. That was the purpose of it. I went to a second one the year after that. I called it The Ungathering. First one we called The Gathering. The second one I called The Ungathering because it didn't turn out well. In 2013, I went to one. I was one of the four featured speakers at the first International Goshen Builders Conference in Ava, Missouri, which is right, if you put a crosshair, like a sniper scope, crosshairs, X, a plus sign, on the Ozark Plateau, Ava, Missouri is right about at the center of the crosshairs. Okay. The geographical construction of the Ozark Plateau, not the safe haven area. Or more safe haven, I mean a circular area. It takes in the river basins, but the geographical corner to corner. Put a line from the northwest corner down to the southeast corner, and from the northeast corner down to the southwest corner. Okay, get that. I'm like Ava, Missouri. So in Ava, Missouri, we had the first International Goshen Builders Conference, which was designed, set up to help people build. How can we build places of refuge for people over the Ozark Plateau? Okay. That is the place where everybody's going to gather. That's going to be the gathering. It's been the gathering place for decades, maybe 200 years or better. Since America was founded, it's been a gathering place. So I'll put it that way. I can safely say that. Tweak my eyebrows. Sorry. So this would be good to have this around a fireside chat, but oh well, too bad, so sad. Fire my rocket stove and bring it in here. Nothing to look at there though. It's all not flames. Anyway, so I've been preparing for this point in time, studying, tweaking, inventions. And I was talking to this guy the other day. I said, well, you figure every week for a long time, especially, say when we got the house, we bought a 10-acre farm. It's now a 40-acre farm. We got that house and we had, dated tornado 2003. In 2003, there was a tornado in the Stockton area. Downtown Stockton disappeared. It was sucked up, gone, except for a church. Went over the church, didn't touch it. 1,000 gravestones were picked up and flipped around and spun. They were not, wind was not what did them. It was the Hutchison effect. Look up the Hutchison effect. They're very important. Tornadoes are sheath vortex plasma discharges, all right? You got that? Sheath vortex plasma discharges. They're electrical phenomena. They're electrical phenomena. A tornado is an electrical phenomenon. Tornado is plural, or electrical phenomena, plural. Okay, so get it right. Okay, so we do some tongue exercise there. Hold on. Try to speak clearly and I'll speak slower. Don't get excited. Slow down. Okay. Slow down. You move too fast. You got to make the morning last. Gad, you're there. Jacob McFarland. Who is Jacob McFarland? Where are you from, buddy? Good to have you on board, whoever you are. McFarland. McFarland is where the track team was, right? Yeah. That's the Kevin Costner one or whatever. Anyway, this is important, very important. I've been tweaking things, inventing things, designing things. And I've said that I've noticed this. I've built a lot of them, tested them, and as far as I know, every single one has worked and will work. Okay. Some of them are like probably multi-million-dollar, capability of inventions, bringing in money, not to make money, but to help people stay alive. That's my goal, to stay alive, help people stay alive. Okay. Can't do that without money, so you got to have money to do it with. You got to either give stuff away or sell it. I've noticed if you give somebody something they don't value, and they just throw it away, they let it break. I bought a whole case of air grills, one of the most ingenious inventions I've ever seen in my life, by two guys in America that like to grill, barbecue, and drink beer. So they had a beer opener. It was a triple speed, compound geared air grill to start barbecues. Got knocked out by the Chinese, boom, it's gone. You can still get ones like it. In somewhere they're better, but I bought a whole case of them, 2 cases actually, 2 different styles. I had 2 different grades of them. I got 2 cases of them. I gave them away. Asked people about it. Oh, my wife dropped in the sand. My kids dropped them. They're broken. Went and threw it in the swimming pool, whatever. And just nobody still has one to this day functioning. So not good. So you don't want to give things away. If people want them, you got to convince somebody they need to buy it because they need it, and they'll value it and they'll treasure it. I have things that I got 30, 40 years ago because I treasure them, heirloom things. So, all right. So, I can hold my eyes open. Sorry. So, for a long time now, I've had this vision, idea, concept in my head, a sight in my head of having a big factory warehouse, with hundreds of bins against the walls, parts, ball bearings, tubes, PVC, metal, EMT, just parts for 100 things. So parts can be used for many, many different devices and things, products. I've had that in my mind. I actually knew a guy that I wanted to be a part of that because he had run in Michigan area. No, Wisconsin. Yeah. No, Castigo. Um, Podan. Something like a weird word of Wisconsin. But anyway, he ran a GM plant, General Motors plant, and out of $1.5 billion a year in output, he saved them 40%. Do the math on that one. I'm not going to do it on my tablet. I'm not going to waste time, but he saved like $400 million, I think it was, something like that. Because of efficiency. This guy could do anything, you know. All right, so my point is this. I talked to him about it. I said, hey, I want you to come out and set up a plant. You know, we can manufacture things. We can, you know, be a tinker shop, you know. And I have so many people that are tinkers. One's a woman, but I think one or two of them are already dead. So they missed the boat. Okay, so a big shop. I've had that idea in my head for a long time. I'm talking to this guy the other day, military guy. He goes, you know what I want to do? I want somebody that invents things. I went, you get me? So I'm excited. I'm so excited. I haven't slept in like much for about 2 or 3 days. You know, wake up in time to get out of bed about 3:30 one day. The next day, I woke up 3:30 one day. Got up by bed by 4:30 because somebody's coming over to shower. Some homeless people coming over to shower. The next day, I didn't wake up till 4:30 and didn't get out of bed till like 7 last night, till 7 or 7:30 to finally get up and get something to eat because I hadn't eaten all day long. Anyway, my point is that I'm crazy. I'm weird. Yeah. Duh. You haven't figured that out. If you people don't know me by now, might as well start figuring that one out. Okay, so plant, manufacturing facility, parts bins, hundreds, maybe thousands of parts bins, all kinds of things. So anyway, that's been in my head. So this guy the other day says that's what he wants to do. He said, I need somebody that can invent things. Well, I said, listen, you figure once a week for 20 years, 50 times 20, about 1,200, is that about 1,200 inventions, whatever? It doesn't make any difference. I was lawfully figuring 500 to 1,000, 500 to 700, just a conservative estimate. Let's call it 1,200, okay? In tents, you know, tents leak. Yeah, you got to solve that. Well, silicone and tape them, you know. Well, I said, just put your tent where you can't touch it. Case closed. I said, we need to be able to think outside the box. Build a shelter large enough to put 100 tents under it, a geodesic dome, basically, and it's very possible. Our bunches are fuller, and this whole comes back to Helene. I said, oh my God. Our bunches are fuller. I quote him in my book. I'm going to quote his biggest. The thing most things known for was the geodesic dome, but he had a lot of other inventions. Dymaxi on a car, you know, a plane that didn't fly on a car that didn't work too well. And I mean, he was an inventor, a genius design guy, wanting to do more with less, you know, do the most efficiency with the least amount of expense and least amount of size and weight and everything else. So he was very much into efficiency. I'm just talking off the top of my head here, but so one person I've ever met in my entire life has read his book, his big book, a book that most people, even if you had graduated college and had a super high vocabulary and intelligence level, you would not be able to read the book. I wouldn't even bother to try to read it because I know I can't read it. I'm not going to try. This guy read the book. Okay, he was a microscopic robotics engineer, design genius person. This guy was smart, and I started talking to him. You know, at about 40. This was at a Passover, right? At a church, big Passover. People came from all over the country, and this guy was there from Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities. Okay, genius guy. And we talked for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it was about 45 minutes. And he burst out with, where's all this information archived that you're telling me about? I said, nowhere. He said, it's not backed up anywhere. I said, no. It needs to be written down. I said, there's not enough paper to do it with. He said, it should be on a computer. I said, there ain't no computer. I don't have the capability to do it. I don't have that computer. And if they did, it would blow up. So, and I said, it's just not possible. I don't have the time in the day. I don't have time in my life to do that. I don't have the capability to do it. He said, well, what happens if you die? I said, well, it's gone. He goes, you are a living liability. I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, what happens to that, to your knowledge is in your head if you die? What happens to the human race? That's stolen. It's gone. I said, well, so what? You know, God knows it all. He can tell it to somebody else. Anyway, point is that this guy thought I was pretty sharp or had a lot of knowledge. So now, next feast day, 2 or 3 feast days after that, we'd get together and we'd start talking. And it was so funny because I remember every time we'd sit down and start talking about excited, we'd start talking about this and that and the other thing. And about 45 minutes into the conversation, every single time, all of a sudden I'd realize, oh, that's right. Grant thinks he's smarter than me, more intelligent than me. And he's not, you know, in a lot of ways. I would just realize that he thinks that he's smarter than me, but he doesn't. He has. I have no education compared to him whatsoever. I'm an idiot compared to him. And there's other people like that too. I got another friend of mine, Jim. You know, he's so accomplished in so many areas that I'm like a nobody. I'm a nobody who's done nothing and I'm a nobody who's been nowhere and done nothing and have nothing and are nothing. So, but God uses nothings and nobodies to bring to not the things that are, right? He uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise and the weak things of the world to confound the mighty. So he's going to use nothing and nobodies. Because Moses spent 40 years of his life thinking he was somebody, right? Very proud. I was up in Pharaoh's court, you know. And then spent 40 years finding out that he was a nobody. Just backside of the desert, you know. Shut up. Took care of sheep out in the desert. And then suddenly he finds out what God can do with nobody for the next 40 years. So it was 40, 40, 40. And it's been about the same for me. I spent 40 years thinking I was somebody, and then the last 40 years, especially the last 9 years, you know, after divorce and just being homeless and basically and having moved 100 times, was, you know, once a week there for a while, you know, just throw everything in the van and go to the next place, you know, another couch, another RV to sleep in, another couch to sleep. I slept under a cabin one time, under a crawl space one time. God gave me he said, you can have this airstream as long as you need it. I said, well, I'm going to need it till the day I die because I got a job to do. I'm going to be busy until the day I die, so I need it. And thank you very much, you know, type thing. But so we need to have a factory of parts, bins, you know, and building things. You know, there's a lot of things that need to be built. So one of them is a geodesic dome, a big hub, big, huge hub. And I'm talking 40, 50 foot diameter, maybe 100 foot diameter. It can be done pretty easily, really. All those tents out there in North Dakota, western North Carolina, Tennessee, you know, people out in tents, and they're getting cold and icy and snow, and there's going to be high winds some days. Going to be bad. It's going to be a bad winter. A lot of people are not going to make it through the winter, I don't think, out there, unless somebody goes out and helps them. And so that's why I'm coming up to here. I want to go out and help. I don't want to. I'm going to go out and help. I don't want to. I do want to, but I'm saying it's not because I want to go. I'm going to go. I'm not saying. I'm not wishing I could go. I want to go. I wish I could go. I am going out there. Okay. And it's going to be a situation like the door's been open and no man can shut it. God has opened the door and no man's going to shut it. So I'm going to go out and help. So I'm going to lead up to this issue out there that's going on right now as we speak. And very bad, very evil situation. And Satan is just having the heyday. It needs to stop. And I'm going to tell people to stop, because it's going to cost some people their lives if they don't stop. Hope they stop right now after listening to me tonight. So, all right, so I'm going to start naming some names, I guess. Don't know all the names, don't know the last names or nothing on some of them. But there's been a lot of ministries out there that have done a lot of work. Okay, one of the biggest ones from the get-go, 1 or 2 days after the hurricane, they were there. Grindstone Ministries with TJ, Bear Nation, Bear Independent. Good people. One guy came up there and to an old boy and he said, "Need any help?" And he goes, "No." And he says, well, I'm with Grindstone. You're with Grindstone. Oh, he talked for an hour, You're with Grindstone? Because he knew they were good people. I mean, for crying out loud, if you know who Wrangler Star is, Cody Crone out in Oregon, he came up. Now, here's a story with Cody. This is a weird deal. He said he told his wife, Mrs. W, Mrs. Wrangler Star, and one of the most iconic icons in history, Wrangler Star is a little W, but it's like a lasso, cowboy lariat, and it's shaped with a lasso, and it's shaped with a star. It's lassoing a star and bringing it down. Anyway, so he told his wife, she goes, "That's a great idea. I think you should do that, because they need help. They need chainsaws. They need people who know how to cut trees down, and clear stuff, And of course, he's logged for the U.S. Forest Service and got fired because I don't know, said something about his son or something, so he fired him. But now his son's not working for the U.S. Forest Service. If you know that story, it says, and constantly, East Coast men, East Coast men are as badass as West Coast men, and East Coast saws are not as good as West Coast saws, and just the whole thing back and forth, East Coast, West Coast. Well, now North Carolina. It helps. Sorry, call me weird. Just don't call me late for dinner if there is any dinner. Okay, so exercise time tongue. So Cody tries to get a hold of somebody at Grindstone. Has no luck. 2 or 3 days. Every day his wife would go. Mrs. W would go. Had any luck? Hadn't heard from her? No. For the 3rd day, she goes, "Do you mind if I try?" 1 hour later, she's got a phone call into TJ, Bear Independent. He calls Cody back. Cody says, "I'm Wrangler Star." Goes, and they had to. Grindstone's real good about it. You got to be vetted. You got to have they need background checks. I mean, you're not going to have anybody come out there has issues that are not good to have out there. Okay, so they're going to vet you. Don't even bother to ask them if you're not vettable. So Cody, you got to have skills too, and talents, and equipment and stuff. So Cody tells him who he is, and he goes, "Come on out." Immediately just come on out. So one of the things that happened there was, I just slapped myself. Shit. Okay, so one of the things that happened was he'd been there for a couple, 3 days, and TG asked him if he would take head a team. He knew he just had the qualification, the skill, and the background, and the knowledge, and the safety knowledge, and everything else. That's if he would lead a team, because they had like hundreds of, they call them targets, There's a house over. We got a thing. A house over here has got a tree on the roof. It's got to get cut down and cleared. And this one's got a tree on the barn. It's got to get cut down and cleared. And this one's got to cross the highway and this has a road. I mean, trees are falling down like faster than bowling pins. Bad analogy, but so. So Wrangler Star is out leading a team, okay? And this one guy was Joe, and TJ had asked Wrangler Star to make videos to publicize what he's doing, what they're doing, the boots on the ground stuff. People need to see what's going on, the destruction and how annihilated people's lives have been. They're not going to understand what the need, So Cody would be, doing a video, just shooting a video really quick. And then at night, one time it was like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, he's sitting out by the barn or about somewhere where he could be where it was quiet and he could do the editing to get the video uploaded. And 3 or 4 young men come out and they start chatting with him, like really excited to talk to him. They know who he is, and they just watch his channel. I'm having memories, either 2013 or 2014, same years that the Beyond Off-Grid documentary is being done, 2014. The director and producer had already interviewed Cody. He spent $5,000 a tour going to Oregon to do him, and Montana to interview Paul Wheaton and, Rick Austin and different people, big swing around the whole Northwest area. $5,000. And now my nose is getting plugged up. But that year, either 13 or 14, the top worldwide YouTube channel was given to Regular Stars channel. When he was younger, he grew up in a church, and he didn't say what church. I don't know if it was Mormon or not, but he left the church. But he said in that church, he said, they had such a, someone's house burned down, they built it within a week. There were enough men around. If you needed help, you made a phone call, and there were 50 people there to help you do whatever you needed to do. And so over the years, he lived without that for a long time. Well, now where he's living up there in Oregon, he's trying to rebuild that and they have, communication, they have radios, they have, vehicles, they have equipment, they have chainsaws. So blah, 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 blah. But, deal with it. I got to be able to breathe. Sorry. Hope you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? I've got this. Got a fire going. Cool. Don't burn it down. Get a fire blanket. Got to make the whiskey out. You got to make them. Kicking down the cobblestones. You got to make the whiskey. That's that song. I don't know. Get down the cobblestone. Feeling what's fun and feeling groovy. Feeling groovy. Okay, you got me going there. Shut up. So, top channel worldwide. This man is such an awesome person. He's out much to teach people how to do things right, how to build a house, how to do this, how to safely cut a chain, how to sharpen a chain, how to safety. You got to treat it under tension. How to cut it where you doesn't destroy your chainsaw. You know how to make a cut here, did a little bit to the right, left or right of the thing, and so when the tree drops and slams down, it doesn't take the chainsaw with it and ram it into the ground while it's still running and destroy it or break something on it. So anyway, I'm just reminiscing and bunny show here and then bunny show there. Sorry, I'm trying to stay on track. I've been getting better at it. So I do the that means rewind. Try to remember what the hell I was saying because I got off on a bunny trail. Now I don't know where I'm going. So anyway, I've got that one though. So Cody was in Beyond Off-Grid documentary, and if you haven't watched that documentary, watch it. And I'll make a note to link it in the description and the comments both. I can put it in the description, the drop down, but it never hot links it. I don't know why it doesn't hot link it, but if I put it in the comments, it'll be hot linked. I'll put it in the comments. So look it up. Beyond Off-Grid documentary. You can look it up on, Google it, and you can find the trailer for it. Now, in the trailer, it's about 2-minute trailer. I'm the second person in the trailer. How is America like ancient Rome? Pusillanimous indolence. I wrote that 40 years ago. That was a surprise question. We had a whole bunch of prepared questions and answers. This is what you've written about. I'm going to ask a question. You're going to give me your take on it, your spiel.
So he didn't give me memory for this off the cuff answer stuff. We did that. I go now. He said, no. How's America? Well, pull it out of 40 years ago. I said, well, there was a 7-volume work by a man named Edward Gibbons called The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. And in that book, he said that what destroyed Rome was pusillanimous indolence, cowardly laziness, cowardly laziness, so afraid, yeah, cowardly and laziness, indolence. So I watched video 3 of that 4-part series. Was on my. If you go to How to Get Out of Babylon, my channel, go to playlist. You can should be able to find that there. Beyond Off-Grid documentary, 4 videos. But watch the third one, because the third one has my rocket stove in it, inside a geodesic dome, in-ground trench, Dakota fire hole, earth and thermal mass rocket stove. So a picture sleeping on warm ground, picture of 20, 30 below zero out, ice storm, whatever, and you're sleeping on 100-degree ground, and the air in the tent is 70 degrees. And you don't need a coat to walk around in the inside of it. You don't need clothes to wear walking on the inside. It's so hot, warm, nice. Okay, so you can do that. It's possible. That's one of my inventions. I want to get out there. I have to go out there. That's what I realized. I've posted on 200 comments. JD Vance. Everybody who knows who JD Vance is? Yeah, whatever. I posted on his video. I figured there's going to be 1 million people watching that video because he went up to North Carolina, so I posted on it. They disappeared. Nobody's called me. Nobody has called me. 200. Talked to. I got a call back the same day. Not a call, but an email that sent back the same day from Dave Eubank. Okay, with Free Burma Rangers. Now, if you don't know their story, look up my playlist on that, or just look up Free Burma Rangers. Listen to his story. Oh my gosh, just mind-boggling, amazing. Run into the sound of gunfire. Longest-running civil war in history of the world. Burma. It's being blown up and annihilated. ISIS and horrible stuff. Well, that's Iraq. They're into Iraq too. Anyway, I said that to say that early on, Helene, Free Burma Rangers were there in North Carolina. So I got a hold of him, and he fired right back. Your stove looks awesome. He said, that's phenomenal. He said, but we already pulled out. We're back overseas. I know I've talked about him before, so I'm not going to belabor that point or repeat a bunch of stuff. Guy raised his kids in Burma. Born and raised in Burma. Homeschooled. No kidding. Home birth, homeschooled. Man after my own heart, I'll tell you what. So, that's the only reply I had all these 2 months, September, October, November, going on 3 months now. No replies, no contact, no solid contact. Now the other day, I finally I've been back and tagging back, playing, what do you call it? Text tag, phone tag with a lady named Lacey Montgomery. Okay, I'm gonna start naming some names here. Her security guy, friend, whatever, is Freddie. Okay. And so I've watched videos of her with being interviewed by John Ward. The Appalachian Channel. Okay, John Ward, look him up. This guy is living there in an RV, interviewing people. And Rosalie Toro, Toro, Camp Rosebuds. She had a petting zoo, and every year in December, like Christmas time, she would have a toy raising a drive to bring toys in for kids, and they have kids come out and have Christmas. I'm going to try not to crack on this one. This woman grew up in the streets of New York. I mean, a young girl living on the streets, beaten, raped. I don't know I don't know her whole story, but for her, Christmas was a black trash bag and going to some dumpy place and having some big fat ugly guy, Santa Claus, having to sit on his lap and smell his whiskey on his breath and the cigarette smoke and everything else. A black trash bag with toys in it. That was her Christmas. Toys in a trash bag. Trashy toys in a trash bag. That's not right. So to her, she wants to have a nice place there. She had a petting zoo there for kids at Christmas, so that they have a nice place to go and have fun and do some healing. The animals were healing their therapy, So okay, I need one big time. So I watched the interview with her with John Ward, and very cool. And about that time, between Lacey and her and what they were trying to do, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And like the Lord told me, you've been preparing for this for 40 years now. Put up or shut up. Get out and do something. Go out and help. I didn't feel like that. I just knew if I don't take the chance now and do something to help people, I'm gonna die. I'm rotting away here. I'm just dying. I'm decomposing day by day. I mean, no hope, no chance of helping anybody. I've done all this work. I've got all these things. I've got all these inventions. I've got all this knowledge, and I was always hoping to stay alive long enough to be of value to somebody. To actually be able to help somebody. And I said, when the shit hits the fan, then people are gonna start listening to me. Well, guess what? The shit hit the fan. It's going to be getting worse. And I'm going to say this again. What happened out there? What happened out there is not going to be the worst disaster in this country. There's going to be worse, far worse stuff. Okay. But for how many thousands of people out there, the shit is at the fan, people. The bovine excrement has gone through the rotating oscillator and it ain't going back in. It ain't going back through the fan, it ain't going back into the bull's ass. It's done spotted all over our faces. And what's happening right now is getting worse because people are making it worse deliberately from being ignorant and stupid biblically, and that's what I'm going to be talking about here, okay? So, and I'll working my way up to it. I'm working around to the background here, so I want to get to where I'm going out there. Might have to do another video. My voice may give out. I don't know. I got a drink here. I'm going to start drinking now. I got some vinegar, cayenne, curry, and a little dash of lemon. Sea salt. Okay, so anyway. So Helene hit and shit hit the fan. We'll never know how many people died. I'm just guessing silly wild ass guess, but educated guess, really. Katrina, I was keeping track. I had a file. I'd read an article. 200 people here on top of Walmart. 200 people here on top of Target. 250 people here on top of Lowe's, Home Depot. Every building, every big box store like that, there were 100 to 200 people on top of the roof that survived by getting on top of the roof. Every single town has every one of those stores. Every single town had Targets and Lowe's and Home Depots with people on top of it. And yet the death toll is like, 1,019, something like that. Federal death toll. Death toll in Helene is like 259 million now. I don't know. That is not true. That's not right. It's not close. Like TJ Grindstone says it. Very Independent says it there. Swannanoa alone, there were like 12,000 body bags issued. Reefers full of bodies, just like Katrina. Reefers full of bodies. I mean, reefer meaning a 53-foot summer with a freezer on it, freezer unit on it, or cooling, whatever the freezer or cooling, whatever. Bodies, morgue, portable, mobile morgues, mobile morgues, to keep the bodies in. And Katrina, they would take them out at night, take the full one out and put a new one in, so people didn't know. They didn't see that. They didn't realize that they were pulling them out and pulling them back. So semi-loaded bodies, semi-loaded bodies, semi-loaded bodies, semi-loaded bodies out of this town, semi-loaded bodies out of this town. What they do them? Shark food. Okay, anyway, shut up. I've said that before. All right. Harvey was even worse because they were putting people on the FEMA barges and then taking them out and dumping them. So, all right. Rumors and hearsay now. Okay. Evil speaking. Bite my tongue. I'm going to say about the allegedly articles that I read, said this and that, the other thing. Irrelevant right now. So, I've been working for this point in time for 44 years, actually my entire life. Actually, way before I was ever born. Because my family motto goes back to about 1000 BC. The book, the Aeneid by Virgil, Latin poem, epic poem. This Dido says to Aeneas, that's Scottish national anthem, national motto. Si vis pacem parabellum, no, that's the Roman motto. If you would have peace, si vis, if you would have peace, pacem parabellum, okay. If you would have peace, prepare for war. Basically, it means peace through superior firepower. You can have peace if you have all the guns and nobody dares to cross you. That's why they had 1,000 years of peace. That's why God providentially used that period of time for the Messiah to be born, because it was peaceful. We could walk from the missionaries could travel all over the known world free of banned brigands and robbers and barons and whatever. So, all right. Diamond family motto. Non ignara male miseris securo disco. And then what that means in Latin is not ignorant, not ignorant. Non ignara male, like malefactor, evil, maladjusted, malware, evil, bad juju. Okay. No stranger to evil. Misery, sicker, disco. I have taught myself, I've been taught how to succor the distressed, how to care for, how to relieve the misery of distressed people. That is a Diamond family motto. And my wife's friend from Kansas, Yvonne Hicks, was very empathic and very prophetic, deeply spiritual. She's a weird woman. Man, if you ever listen to this, Yvonne, God bless your soul. She had a stroke, and I'm in touch with her now, as far as I know. But anyway, one time she said to me, Jerry, your ancestors are speaking to you through your DNA. That's a weird way to put things, but yeah, they are. But I am Jerry Diamond. I am that family motto exemplified in flesh and blood. That's what I've been doing for my entire life. I was born in adversity and evil. My mother did not survive my birth. My mother died because of my birth. I never knew my mother. I never got to be held by her. That psychiatrist, the hypnotist guy, whatever his name is. Let's do this. Your mother did it when you were a baby. No, my mother never did that. I didn't have a mother when I was a baby. So I learned last year, when a child loses its mother, God steps in and becomes a mother for that child. And that explains a lot of things in my life. When that woman told me that, I was like, she goes, what are you laughing for? I thought, I'm crying. It hit me so hard, I was just choking. About my heart was just, it was just so weird. When she said that, because it explains so much of my life, why I'm so weird. Why I'm so different. I care about the downtrodden. I care about the prisoner. I care about the people that have been oppressed and distressed and hurt, and the underdog, the poor, the widow, the orphan, the stranger. I care for those people. so much that it hurts. So, um, old Buckminster Fuller. So let's come back to him. I just read the comment down there about his car having the rear wheel steering, but I quote him in my book, and I quote the phrase. He says, "This is so powerful, such a telling statement, because this, to me, money is only good if it's spent, to used to help people preserve life." Okay, because our Buckminster Fuller said this. This is my lifelong, not motto, but it's foundational in my life. We now know what true wealth is. Do you know what true wealth is? He says, true wealth is the ability to regenerate forward life. In other words, how many people can you keep alive for how many days? And I say, if you can't keep somebody alive, if you can't work toward keep somebody alive, you're not worth anything. I know a woman who is a millionaire. She says she's a millionaire. When I said one time that I believe for many years that I'm going to have $12 million. I have $12 million, a budget of $12 million to get started on what we need to get done. Well, that's it's not a problem. Cool, She wanted to marry me three times, but backed out all 3 times. So, oh well. You snooze, you lose, baby. Point on that was that a lot of money. Money is good if you can keep people alive. True wealth is the ability to regenerate forward life. In other words, of how many people can you keep alive for how many days? So there you go. And yes, I slept 2 hours. That's not quite enough. So over the course of the last 20 years, every month, I would spend about half of my money, income, I pay bills and stuff. The other half I would spend on buying things, products, devices, tweaking things, inventing things, raw material to build things with. So this Freddie wants me to, he said, I need somebody that can invent things. I said, well, I've got a couple of 300, 500, 700, 1,200 inventions already. He said, what you got a problem with? Red coming in tents. Just put your tents where they can't get in. No water can touch them. You can do that with a heavy tarp. You can do it with a bit of, like to put up a big geodesic dome, have 100 tents under the dome. Yeah. And have underground Dakota Firehole rocket stoves in the dome so that the whole dome is warm, 70, 80 degrees. Have summer inside, raining inside, the condensation inside from the heat, from the water vapor from the wood. Anyway, dripping off of the covering. So, anyway, I already said that. Okay, so the things are coming together, it looks like. I'm going to get help. I'm going to get out there and one or another, and it's going to happen. The door is opened. And let me tell you this. I've been praying for 48 years, and I see that prayer being answered now. So, for help. I'm a wall builder. I knew that. In 1976, I went to hear a guy named David Barton at the University Hill. I think it was Baptist Church. I don't care, but I think it was Baptist Church. University Hills on University Boulevard in Denver, Colorado. And David Barton's organization, his ministry is called Wall Builders. Okay, and it's based on the books of Ezra and Nehemiah, and Ezra and Nehemiah together rebuilt the walls around Jerusalem. Okay, and I knew at that this is 1976. I'd been a believer for 3 years, but I knew I felt a deep calling to be a wall builder. When I heard him, I had nothing to do with his ministry. I didn't, I mean, he was talking about the Christian history of America. America's a Christian nation, which I don't really agree with. In some ways, it is. I'm not going to go into that. So anyway, Wall Builders International. I think, or Wall Builders Incorporated. I think it's international. I knew, hearing him talk, that I was a wall. I needed to build walls. Okay, I knew that in 1976. I was a new Christian. 3 years. I've been a believer for 3 years. I was going to Bible college at the time. I went from Bible college from 75 to 79, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, rebuild the timeline here. Just history was so important. I don't care if you're bored. Well, if you're bored, that's too bad. I'm sorry. I don't want to be boring you, but I gotta get this out. This is important stuff. Really important. Deadly important stuff. Life critical stuff. For quite a few thousand people, so bear with me. Maybe millions of people. I honestly believe 200,000 people, 250,000 people, 250,000 people live or die because of what's going on right now. So, Dave Barton, Wall Builders. He made this statement. He goes, God would not let me begin my ministry until I had my Ezra. Now, what he portrayed was that Ezra was a scholar. Ezra is the one that put together the whole Old Testament, right? If you don't know that, he's the one that compiled it and wrote a lot of it. The book of Ezra is Ezra in the Apocrypha. The book of Ezra and the first, second, and third Ezra in the Apocrypha is Ezra. Then you have the book of Nehemiah. Well, Ezra was the prayer warrior, the scholar, the archiver, the writer, the strategic level. In the military, you have someone who is the in command, the CO, the commanding officer. And then you have below him, you have the executive officer. Okay, so who planned World War II? Anybody know? Tell me. The bad war. Who planned the bad war in America? A guy named Eisenhower and a guy named George Marshall. And I just can't. If I had my tripod, I might be able to do this better. Maybe I could hold it up for a while. The Omar Bradley and George Patton Jr. and all those people, those were tactical commanders. Those were generals, three-star generals and whatnot. But they were tactical commanders, basically. They're the ones that went out and kicked ass and took names, The guy that sat in the billboard and planned out how to kill people, how to kill millions and millions of people, was Eisenhower and Marshall. Churchill, Strategico, and Stalin. Those are the bad people. Those are the really evil people. People think that military thinks Roosevelt was such a wonderful president. No, he's one of the most evil people in the history of mankind. Churchill, right up there with him, with Abraham Lincoln. The people that trying to destroy America. So, and England too. Oh. I dropped the phone and passed out. Oh well, sorry. Okay, so exercising my tongue. There's a hair on my glasses. All right. There you go. On the inside. Hey, royalty. So, let me tell you this. Let me give you a really life lesson. This is one of the wisest things you're going to ever hear. They say that if we're ignorant of history, you're doomed to repeat it. Okay. Well, we don't learn anything from history, right? Yeah, I say we do learn something from history. The thing that I've learned from history is that we don't learn anything from history. All right, so there was also saying, I don't know who said it, didn't make any difference, but it said, the only thing necessary for Edinburgh, something like that, I don't know. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. And I say that's a fallacy, because men who do nothing in the face of evil are not good men. They're not good men. Einstein came a little bit closer. He said, the world will not be destroyed by evil men, but by those who stand by and do nothing. That's more accurate. Men who do nothing when the evil's going on are not good men. And right now you have in North Carolina a lot of people trying to do good things, and some people are trying to do bad things. Okay. There's a lot of evil going on there at the higher levels of government and medical industry and science and everything else. Bad stuff, seriously bad stuff. Okay. So we don't need to make it worse, people. Listen to me. Listen and hear and listen. This is where it's going to get heavy. Some of you listening to me right now, well, you may not listen to me. You may not hear me. You may never hear me, but you're going to die because of being stupid. Okay. Sucks for you. Well, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying fact. Okay. Here is fact. I came to this realization and belief about 1999. I said it in public. I said it in meetings. I've taught it to the people I was hanging out with, the group that I was hanging out with, okay, in Kansas. And that was that there's going to be a paradigm shifts in a lot of different industries, a lot of different areas, in law, jurisprudence, in education, in the way we educate, in the way we take care of our bodies, medical, health, and all the things are happening. All the things have happened and are happening and will continue to happen. There's changes in all those areas. I mean, we started out homeschooling and home birthing and then homeschooling. We started homeschooling because I sent my kids to a speech contest, and they were not allowed to do anything that would set them apart from other kids. Oh no, your daughter can't. She has to memorize a fuzzy bear. She can't memorize a visitor from the past. I had a dream the other day that I didn't understand. A figure walked in through the mist with a flintlock in his hand. His clothes were torn and dirty, and speaking low to me, he said, three-corner hat, and speaking low to me, he said, "We fought a revolution to secure our liberty, to secure your liberty." And I don't know, I 12 stanzas. My daughter, Susie, second or third grade, memorized that and was ready to recite it. They would not let her recite that. She had to memorize a stupid 3-line or 4-line fuzzy bear poem. The reasoning, what I was told was, oh no, we cannot have one child be better than anybody else, any other children. And I was like, holy shit, this is communism. I pulled them out like that week or the next day. Pulled my kids out and no more doing with it. This is a Christian school, in a Christian homeschool, a Christian conference or, association. So like, that's over. So we started homeschooling. I said, we may not do a good job, but we're going to be better than that shit. I'm not going to raise my kids that way, to be stupid morons and be ignorant and to be, what do you call it? NDE. Bullshit with the WNBA. equality, whatever, IDE, SCE, SBE. So if you know what it is, look it up and tell me. Everybody's got to be same racially. Everybody got to be same, educational wise. It doesn't make any difference. So communism, stupid. I took them out. That's why my kids are what they're at, the way they're at right now. I never allowed the government or anybody from that point in time. I never let anybody teach my children. My wife and I taught our children. Didn't do a good job, but we did it. All those kids are grown. All of them are, functioning, intelligent people. Good jobs, good mind, good heads on their shoulders. Well, some are a good mind, some of them don't. But hey, that's not my fault. You can regress. You lose part of your mind. You might be gifted to heal and be gifted to be empathic and let that go. You might have the gift of healing and let it go, and that's not right. It's unfortunate that people do that. I've seen that happen with my children. It's very unfortunate. Some of the wisest things I ever heard in my life came out of my children. I just thought about this yesterday, as a matter of fact. I have 5 children. 3 of them have said very wise things, and 2 of them have not. I couldn't think of anything that 2 of my children said, that was just, that's one of the greatest, and I quote them on a lot of times. I quote my granddaughter, I quoted her just the last time I was on here, that, Grandpa, you beat yourself up too much over this, people are going to die. You beat yourself up too much over this, Grandpa. Jesus said when the Tower of Siloam fell, it killed both the just and the unjust. It fell in both the just and the unjust. And she said, we know the judgment's coming, Grandpa. And when that happens, bad people are going to die, but good people are going to die also. They were good people, Grandpa. They were just dumb people. So don't be a dumb people. That's my saying. That's my advice. Don't be dumb people right now. And we're getting to that. I'm working on my way around beating around the bush here, just setting some background. Okay, I'm going to get to that. I got my little vinegar stuff here, so I think my throat might be okay. Should have a tripod in here. All right, so I gotta get moving. I gotta get oh, what happened? Thanks, Sarge. Stop messing with him. All right. Okay, so where am I at? 119. I might just end this one and then do another one. Maybe get set up in the room where it's daylight and better. Let me begin to touch on the subject that I put it for the heading for the topic of this talk. So I'm going to get to that and stop beating around the damn bush. Okay. Come on, say what you're saying. First, I tell them what I'm going to tell them. Then I tell them what I told them. You repeat it 3 times so people can get it through their head. Most of us have very thick skulls, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is something called Lashon Hara. That's evil speaking. It's a teaching. Look it up. LASHON HARA, and you can find any number of websites. Most of it's Hebrew oriented, Jewish oriented, rabbinical teaching and stuff. But it makes sense. A lot of it makes sense. And here's one of the things: is why was Ham cursed by God? Why was he marked by God? Noah drank wine. He got drunk, and Ham goes in. And his father's naked, right? Now, did he have sex with his father? I don't know. There's different theories on why he was cursed and what happened there. He came out of the tent and he told his brothers, okay? And he was cursed. Noah cursed him. So why was that? Well, they say he didn't have to tell his brothers. He didn't have to say anything. He could have gotten a blanket and covered his dad, his father, and not said anything to anybody. He could have handled it himself. Then he goes, hey, Dad's drunk in there. He's naked there. He's uncovered now. So did not go well for him or his descendants. Okay, so the thing is that evil speaking is not good. And what's going on there in North Carolina right now in Tennessee is bad, extremely bad. Satan is the accuser of the brethren. Okay, get that through your head. Listen and hear, people. Hear and listen, because some people are going to die. Some people are going to hear this message and they're going to refuse it and they're going to die because of it. Now, here's another thing. I got to go back to I was saying in the paradigm shift thing. And in Kansas, I was teaching a lot of things I came to belief and understanding of paradigm shifts in health. Oh my gosh, people in health. There's so many paradigm shifts. I mean, Dr. William Davis has this L-reuteri, cultured dairy, rebuild your gut flora, increases your muscle tone. I'm pretty flaccid. I've been like rotting away because just lack of activity, lack of doing anything. And muscle tone's coming back. A lot of things, feeling better, looking better, and a whole lot of differences in my life. But there's paradigm shifts. I'm talking about water. Whoever thought that language had a water? Water had language had a water. Water had language. Veda Austin out of New Zealand is documenting. She has a book called The Secret Intelligence of Water, The Secret Language, The Hidden Language of Water, something like that. On Amazon, it's a $500 bill to buy that book because she didn't publish it. She deliberately did not publish it with Amazon, so they're punishing her. Whatever they do. So they got a copy of it. They're going to sell it for $500. You can get it from her for $65 or something like that, shipped directly from New Zealand. So do that. Cheaper than $500. I got the book, and I dropped it. I was like, holy shit, what the hell is in there? I thought it was a steel plate or something like that. Felt like a half-inch plate of steel. It's so dense, so many photographs, and so many glossy color photographs. Phenomenal. Anyway, paradigm shifts, right and left, and science and health. So many in health, hundreds of them in health. Mitochondria. You can rebuild your mitochondria, people. You can rebuild your body. You can rebuild your kidneys. That's impossible. You can't rebuild the kidneys. Well, bullshit. People are doing it right and left right now with more rebuild your mitochondria. Look up Terry Walls, Dr. Terry Walls, TRRYWAHLS, Walls, the Walls Protocol. I've talked about before, so just look her up. She rebuilt her mitochondria. She built her body. She cannot walk without a walker in a wheelchair. She had to sit in a recline. She had to lay flat to sit up. She cannot sit up yet, so little muscle and bone structure. Now she can ride 18 miles a day on a bicycle. She rebuilt her body. There was one guy who has scheduled to have a kidney transplant. He was on dialysis and, oh shit, don't do that. Oh, damn it. Scheduled to have his kidney transplant. He canceled the operation. He didn't need it. Rebuilt his kidneys. So, all right. Paradigm shifts. But one of the things I was saying is that I started teaching back then, saying was that as we transition into this in latter days, there's going to come a point in time, I believe, as we transition into the Zion, the kingdom of God, that the law of God will become, and I just, for lack of a put it any better way, as the law of God will be becoming more and more in effect, meaning that if you do something that's not right according to Torah, the Old Testament or New Testament, if you break the Old Testament and New Testament law, you'll be judged according to the penalties in that law. I just felt like that made sense, It made sense to me. That's how God does things, so I started saying that. Well, that's going to happen with this issue with North Carolina right now and what's going on there. That's going to happen. Some people are not going to make it in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know, whatever. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that's what I believe is going to happen. Okay, I'm not being angry with anybody. I'm not accusing anybody. I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying, for a fact, there's some things that are going on that are bad, and they need to stop. Okay. So I've had this idea of inventing things and having this facility to help people to put together 200 at least products that people need and ideas, get them to people. My rocket stove idea, blah, blah, blah. Baby sacks, tents, huge teepees, huge geodesic domes, 40, 50, 100-foot geodesic domes so people could pitch their tents underneath the domes. It's all feasible, all possible. Sleep on warm ground, that's all possible. All right, so I told you I'm going to go back to the fact that, okay, I made that statement. Now I want people to listen to me. Hear and listen, hear and listen and hear people. And you may need to do that. Very delicate, but very effective, very powerful DIY, do-it-yourself operation, okay? And you need to hear the loud pop. You need to do an auto rectal cranial deflate extraction. You need to pull your head out of your ass. Rectal, cranial, head, rectal, ass, rectal cranial deflate extraction. All right, anyway. So here's my point, okay? One of my points was that, listen and hear and listen. Next one is that I've posted on hundreds of comments. I did hear from Dave Eubank, and he said, the idea is great, I love it. He said, but I'm back overseas, so, oh well. Grindstone Minister, I've tried, didn't get in touch with him. And I don't have a wife to go, hey, honey, we on me to try, I need somebody that actually knows how to run the internet, social media and stuff. I'm a techno-tard. I'm a flipping idiot, okay? I can't run a computer with the shit. I can do research, I can read, I can put 100 different ideas together. One time I pulled up on my big computer at home down the hill there when I had DSL. Tornado 2003, that was a dating things earlier, I was talking about that. Tornado in 2003 destroyed downtown Stockton, gone. I got sidetracked on a money trail, but because of that, they had to redo the phone line. So instead of doing regular, they did fiber optics and DSL, direct server link. So I went from having crap internet to perfect internet, especially after dark, after 10 o'clock at night. It was a different entity. So I would stay up all night, many nights. 1,000 nights I stayed up all night. I'd try to get to bed before the sun came up, I'd see the skies at night, I'd go to bed. Oh, I got to get to bed. Sometimes it'd be so hot on a topic that I would just continue on until noon or so into the next day, studying and reading. Okay, so So DSL, fiber optics, good internet. I've got fiber optics here now. I pay about $50 a month for it. That's good. Okay, so my point was, I was dating something. Very important, dating it. So 2003. That's when I really got online, started doing stuff. But one time I pulled up, you do a search and Google search, and there'd be about 20 hits on a page. I'd open every single one of those tabs. I had like 300 tabs on my own. And then the next page would have another 20 hits. I'd open all those, every single one of those, another one open. I'd run every single one of them. I did that for like 10 pages. I had 500 tabs open, something like that. I read every single one of them. Okay. Anyway, has to do with Kraton, tornadoes, all kinds of shit. Anyway, I don't need to go into any of that. So that's, don't need to go into any more of that. So let's go back to North Carolina and stop getting sidetracked, Jerry. All right. So here's my point. Only person that contacted me, played phone tag for a few days. I got her from Rosalie one time, Rosalie Toro, Rosebud Camp, literal refugee camp. 9 acres, not much acres, but place for people to go. They took in a family of 8, in a tent. She's got 3 tents, white duck bell tents, and I'm sorry, she had them before. She's gonna do a like a camping place, for people to go camping, like glamping. So she already had that in place before the hurricane. She didn't lose her tents there for somehow or another. The water came through her property, but it didn't destroy everything. She didn't get like flooded and washed down to Tennessee and South Carolina like a lot of people did. Anyway, had one call back from her, not call, but text one time. That was it. So Lacey contacted me, Lacey Montgomery. I'm going to put her name out there now because she's on the hot seat, however you want to put it. She's being attacked. And that's what I'm going to go talk about from here on out. Okay, so Lacey contacted me, and it was like, how you doing? Sorry about this. And we played phone tag for like, I'm going to say a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. I can go look it up. I should have looked it up, but I'm not going to now. I can't. I'm on my phone. I can't look it up. Well, I'm going to say 2 weeks. We've been, kind of playing text tag, not even phone tag. I have not talked to her one time on the phone yet. Okay. But finally, it kind of clicked. I sent her, because I sent a thing to her and to John Ward and to Rosalie and to, post on JD Vance's video and this video and that video and Yanasa TV and Chronicles of Olivia, and she's an investigative journalist. She has been for quite some time. John Ward is now an investigative journalist. I mean, he went before the county commissioners, county operation, whatever you call them, monkeys, Nazis in the county that would not let people live in tiny homes. What the hell is that? And he sat before him and said, man, he questioned them, and they didn't like him, and anyway. So he's doing investigative journalism, right? Along with Chronicles of Olivia. So, and there's another guy into the mix. Real Estate Mindset. I don't know his name. I think it's Travis. I'm not positive. Real Estate Mindset. Look him up. He interviewed Lacey. I remember that. John Ward has talked to her. I'm pretty sure. I know John Ward is living at Rosalie's compound, or homeless camp number 1. Now, I had 3 homeless camp number 1s on this property. Where I'm at right now, I can walk within about 2 minutes over to the house, abandoned house, just a trash pile, storage unit for junk, garbage, and construction materials and this and that. That was homeless camp number 1. The porch was homeless camp number 1. Down below the house that my wife and I bought, my wife and son and I, we paid for it in less than 1 year, paid off a 10-acre farm in less than 1 year. I had homeless camp number 2 and homeless camp number 3 on that property. So I had 3 homeless camps going back to about 2010, 2011, because I realized at some point in time, just a deep-seated, grievous realization that I was homeless. I had no home. Meaning, I was not welcome in my own home that I led my family to. I led my family to Kansas and brought them from Kansas down to Missouri. And I was not welcome in my own home. I was shunned. and I'm still shunned. So, and I suggest pull the transcripts and everything, just ding ahead on this and, click, click, click. You can, anytime when I'm not talking much and just slow down or something, you just click it, speed, double speed it, triple speed it, put the captioning on and read the captioning, pull the transcripts up and read those, scan ahead. You don't have to listen to me just mumble here. So, all right. So back to my story, if I can remember where the hell I was. Okay. Homeless camp number 1, 2, and 3. So homeless camp, Rosebuds is a homeless camp, a refugee camp, literally. Their plan is she has 3 of those big duck tents. I don't know how long they'll last through the winter. I don't think they'll last to survive the winter. Not all 3 of them, I'm pretty sure. I'm not trying to speak evil. I'm just saying facts of the matter. Wind, ice, and snow are very destructive to tents, especially when their tents are not up to those conditions. Okay, so there you go. That's my opinion. That's not opinion. That's fact. I've had several tents destroyed from not being staked down properly or whatever. So, So Lazy texted me one day, and I've been sending the links and playlists and videos and links for videos and my rocket stove, my in-ground thermal rocket stove, thermal mass Dakota Firehole rocket stove, earthen thermal mass heating system. And she lit up at one point. She's like, wow, send this to my security guy, my friend security guy. I sent it to him, and we talked. I finally talked to him on the phone. I haven't talked to her yet, but I talked to him on the phone last night. And we had a good long talk, probably about an hour, and covered a lot of things, covered the idea of inventing things. He says, I need somebody that can invent things. I give them a problem, they can invent something, fix something, create something, design something. And that's what I do. That's what I do for a living. Okay. So tuning element. See the tuning forks? I designed that icon. That's my icon. That's my name, image, and likeness. That NIL. That's my intellectual property. The technology was mine. The name was mine. Tuning element. I said it has to be musical. It has to be musical. It has to be musical because we were doing that's infused with earth frequencies, Schumann resonances. And it's very healing, supposedly. I think it's kind of worn out by now. I'm trying to get it off. I can't get it off. Anyway, my point is that name, image, and likeness. I should be getting $1 million right now. It was stolen from me. Stole the company from me and fired me, supposedly. So my wife used that as a half-assed excuse to divorce me. So I became a nobody, and more of 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 a nobody. Homeless moved 100 times over the last 9 years. So, I'm not complaining, just explaining. I'm just saying it happened. I know it was for a reason, for a very good reason, because I'm in the wilderness, right? When you're in the wilderness, you leave Canaan. Canaan is you leave Egypt. Getting out of Egypt is salvation. That's when you get saved. That's Passover. The angel of death passes over you. The debt's been paid. The lamb has been sacrificed, and you're free to go into the wilderness. What happens in the wilderness? Well, you either learn something or you die. You either survive or you die. You did the right thing before you went into the wilderness. You had the blessing of the Almighty, or you die in the wilderness. Okay, so I've been in the wilderness for 40 years, basically, in my life. For 40 years, I thought I was somebody. 40 years, I found out I'm a nobody. And now I think I'm about ready to find out what God can do with nobody. So I've got another 40 years ahead of me here. Okay, that's about right. 120. Well, okay. There'd be 120, but another 40 years put me about 110. That's about right. I think that can happen. Yeah, if I take care of myself, if God preserves my life, it'll happen. It's all glory to Him. It's his operation. He can do what He wants with me. But I am resolved that I'm going to North Carolina to help, to do what I can to help out. Because if I don't go, there's a hell of a lot of people not going to make it through the winter. I'm telling you, they don't know how to deal with it. They're mountain people. I understand that part, but they don't have the knowledge to stay warm. People think you got to live in a wooden box. People think you have to live using propane to heat with. No, I hate propane. I absolutely hate propane. Very dangerous, very destructive. It causes fires. It causes explosions. And guess what? If you're in a tent, a small trailer or a small tent, a little cabin, tiny house, and you have a propane heater going, everybody says it's vent. You don't have to vent. Yeah, right. It'll put up so much water that it'll freeze your door shut and freeze your zipper shut on your tent so you can't get out. And it will, worst thing is it'll burn up all your carbon dioxide. It'll put out carbon dioxide, burn up all your oxygen, and you don't wake up in the morning. You wake up somewhere other than you figured on waking up, either in heaven or hell. You don't wake up with your family, or your whole family don't wake up. So anyway, ugly situation, but it's going to happen. I'm sorry, it's going to happen. There's going to be fires, there's going to be explosions. People are not going to make it. I pray that the people stay safe. I pray that they are blessed and have the knowledge to figure out what they need to do. Okay, so, all right. So back to my situation, okay. Lashon Hara, just look it up. I had some things I could pull up and read. But Lashon Hara could be evil speaking, like, even if it's the truth. Even if they say something that's truthful about somebody, it's still not right. You don't do it. I'll point out two things. One thing anyway. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I'm reading comments under these videos where this lady, I think her name was Stephanie, said some bad things about Lacey Montgomery and about the guy that did the interviews out there. He's doing investigative. They're doing like journaling. They're doing interviews with people that are either helping people or people that had their home destroyed. And this John Ward has been phenomenal. Chronicles of Olivia, phenomenal. Real estate mindset. Look him up. He's involved in this because people are accusing him of being a con artist, and they've hurt him very deeply by lying about him, basically. And even if they're true, even if Lacey Montgomery is a crook, it's not your place to create the judgment. It's not. This is America. You're supposed to be brought to trial and have innocent until proven guilty. Okay, people jump right up. They should be arrested. They should be shot. They should be hauled off and drawn and quartered. They should be tarred and feathered. There should be so much hatred. And what did Messiah say? He said, "By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, that you have love one for another." And if you don't have love for that person, keep your mouth shut, please. Don't incriminate yourself. Don't be judgmental on yourself, because I'm holding the mirror of the Word up to you. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm holding the Word of God up to you. Torah, especially in the Old Testament. Okay, first 5 books is Torah. I'm holding that up. I'm quoting the scriptures, and if you break those scriptures, rest assured, it's very highly likely, highly probable. I'm going to say like close to 100% that you're going to be judged according to the law. You're breaking the law, and you'll be judged according to the law. You'll be cursed. You're cursing Lacey Montgomery, and you're going to be judged for cursing her. What you speak on somebody else is going to come back on your own. Where's that said? Messiah said, the words that you speak will condemn you. Out of your own mouth, you'll be judged and condemned. If you want to go on condemning somebody else, condemning Lacey Montgomery, you're going to be judged for judging her. The judgment you judge will be judged. You'll be judged with the judgment you judge. So watch your ass. I'm just telling you. Here's another for you. Psalm 105:15. They wandered around the world, but said, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Now, I'm not saying Lacey or Freddie or prophets, or I'm a prophet. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you have no right to judge someone and to criticize them and to call down evil on them. And that's what you're doing. I have read so many ugly, horrible, just despicable comments, nasty comments And you have no proof. This is Travis Rios at my job. I watched a little bit of his video tonight. He said, Stephanie, I just asking for proof. And people are saying he's evil for asking for proof. You know, I watched some of her video, and I guess it was her. I don't know. I thought it was somebody else. But anyway, got the name confused, I think. But I'm going to about end it there pretty quick. Go about maybe 15 more minutes, but I'm going to call it because my throat's going. My voice is going. You can hear that. So I watched enough of Travis's video tonight right before doing this, about 20 minutes or so. I kind of got an idea what was going on. It's ugly. It's damned ugly. It's really ugly. I mean, there's people just throwing like accusation and hearsay and just gossip. Nothing but pure gossip, most of it. And he pointed out, he said, look up the definition of libel, look up the definition of slander, because she did, those are crimes that, you know, you could be taken to court for. Now, Lacey, I'm going to give you advice. Freddie, Travis, John Hurt, if you're involved, John Ward, if you're involved, I don't know, Rosalie, don't say anything bad about anybody. Just let them go. You don't have to respond. Do not respond. If somebody puts a comment in your videos, don't reply. Don't reply. And I'm going to give you a character to emulate. Okay, I'm going to tell you somebody that you can look at and study their life. Okay. Number one, vengeance is mine. You don't have to, you know, I was a sheep led to the slaughter. I was dumb, you know, sheep led to the slaughter. Don't have to reply. You don't have to defend yourself. You know, don't have to say anything back. Just don't. Negative trolls feed on this. Enemy feeds on negative comments, right? Satan is the accuser of the brethren. They're accusing Lacey. They're accusing Travis. I think is his name. Real estate mindset. They're accusing them of bad things with no proof whatsoever. That I can see no proof, or they're just making up things and accusing them. That is libel. Is slander. They could be taken to court, you know. Not that I would do that. We're not supposed to take you to the court, but just pointing out they're breaking the law in America. They're not breaking the law in America. They're breaking the law in Torah. And while it takes a jury, you know, an arrest and a lawsuit or something to take you to court in America, God doesn't have to do that. And I'm telling you, I'm expecting this to happen because the shit has hit the fan. People, we're in the last days. We're in the last days of the last days of the last days. We're in the last days. We're in the last seconds of the last minutes of the last hours of the last days. Okay, so be careful what you say. Be careful, little what you do. Be careful, little eyes, what you see. For the Father up above. Be careful, little see. Look that song up and read it. Read the lyrics to that song. Okay, so my point is that keep your damn mouth shut. Well, I want to tell you somebody to look at, because I got two playlists on this lady, this woman, this girl, young lady. I'm telling you. I don't know how I started listening to her. I'm talking about basketball. I don't watch basketball. I've heard so many 70-year-old men. I'm 70 years old. I've never watched a basketball game in my life. Whew. 100 comments like that on there. I'm military. I've never watched a basketball. I don't give a shit about basketball. I don't care about basketball. But I started watching basketball because of Caitlyn Clark. And I watched enough of it, enough of her early on, and I started seeing several things. One, I mean, it was said that she was not going to be able to survive playing the WNBA because it's a thug league, it's a ghetto league, it's a violent, very, very physical league. It's too physical for her. She's a little scrawny white girl from Iowa, you know, Humpuck, Iowa, you know. Well, they picked the wrong state there because you know what Iowa is? Yahweh. Yeah. Iowa was named after Yahweh. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, all you ghetto people. She's a girl from Cornhusker, Iowa. Hawkeyes. Iowa Hawkeyes. So anyway, Caitlyn Clark. So they're saying she's not going to be able to play in it. She's going to become with some grown-ass woman, one of the stars, Diane Taurasi. She can be playing with some grown-ass women here. She ain't going to be able to do anything. She's not going to take over the league. She's not going to be able to make an impact. Well, guess what? She broke 62 records. 62 records. All-time scoring high, all-time assists. First rookie to do a triple-double. In other words, 2 digits of points, over 10 points, over 10 rebounds, and over 10 assists. Triple doubles. 2 of them. First rookie to ever do it. First one in the history of the WNBA, 20 years is whatever it's been around, to do 2 of them in one season. I'm looking for her to do 3 and 4 next year if the world don't end, and I think she'll have 2 and 3 players on her same team doing triple doubles. I mean, getting hammered. I mean, almost had her head knocked off in one situation. I mean, and she gets up, smiles, and just plays. She loves basketball. She's interviewed and she says, "Nah, there was an accident. It wasn't deliberate. You see this girl's Dejanay Carrington, her swats the ball, her hand pivots down, her wickedly 1-inch long fingernails come right into Caitlyn's eye. She's looking at Caitlyn's head while she's doing it. The ball's like 4 foot behind her. The ball's nowhere to be seen, but she swats at the ball, then her hand pivots down and slams right into Caitlyn's eye, about blinds her. Totally destroyed her for that game. This was a playoff game, for crying out loud. Anyway, she gets hammered. People come behind her and slam her down to the ground, Players of both sexes, let's say. But she's straight, she's white, and she's from Iowa. And they don't like that. So she's Catholic, but But here's my point is that she is living, I see her as a living example of the gospel. The New Testament message of the message of the New Testament, the Jesus gospel. She doesn't speak back. She doesn't never wants you to speak bad about anybody. Interviews, oh yeah, is this an accident? I expected to get hammered. Yeah, I've been dealing with that since high school. People don't realize she started playing basketball when she was 3 years old. Okay, her muscle density's got to be down to like a chimpanzee, I think. She's very fast. Her reflexes are incredible. Her release speed on long distance throw pitches, what do you call them? Shots, for hoops. About the same as Steph Curry. Steph Curry, they call Golden State Warriors, I think it is, in California. Whatever the name of the auditorium or the gymnasium is where they play, the Golden State Warriors. They call it the auditorium that Steph built, that Curry built. Because it was his playing that so electrified the NBA with 3-point shooting that he was able to build a auditorium just for his team from the income. Well, Caitlyn started playing this year. Suddenly they had double the income. The WNBA had double the viewership, four times the viewership. Anyway, I'm just trying to say that don't speak evil of other people. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. The cold never bothered me anyway. The lies never bothered me anyway. Just let it go. Just let it go, Lacey. Let it go, Freddie. Just Ispiana Yete them. Piss on them, Don't worry about it. Let God handle it. Vengeance is mine. Let him handle it. Okay, that's my message, everybody. And to those of you, Stephanie, if that's your name, I don't even know if it's your name, but I'd say you had better wake up and stop. And all these people all these comments, those horrific, nasty, filthy comments. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I'm going out there. I'm going to find out what's going on by myself when I get out there. I will be out there. Hopefully, I'd like to be out there the next few days, but I need to get a U-Haul and get it loaded up and get out of here. I can help. I think I can get help to load it up. I can't do it myself because that'll kill me, literally. Then I got to drive it, so it'll be a long trip. My daughter gets out here. She drives out herself all the time. They flew last time. That's cool. It was really nice seeing them home. That was such a wonderful visit. That was my Thanksgiving on Saturday night. 9 Thanksgivings with no family around. Anyway, not complaining, just explaining. Yeah, God's will. I mean, God's about to change it. So, all right. So I'm heading out there. I'm going to find out what's going on. But I'm saying right now, you people back off, back off, back off, back off. Let it go. If you think Lacey did anything wrong, let God take care of her. Don't be judging someone because the judgment will come back on you. The mirror, I've held the mirror up. Do not speak evil of others. Don't gossip. Do your own research on Lashon Hara. Look it up. Read it. I'm not going to do it now. It's just too late. I might do another teaching on it. I can do it. I'll try to do that maybe the next day or two. I've got a bunch of screenshots, and I can do the split screen and talk to you on that, so you can see what I'm saying. You can see my voice. Okay, see my voice. You can hear my voice and see my lips. Read my lips. Read my lips. No more taxes. Huh? All right, that's it. I'm done. Hallelujah. Like and subscribe, or don't. I'm out. No. Richie from Boston. What a guy. So anyway, do something real. Do something right. I'm heading out there. Pray for me. If you can give me some help, a little bit of finance would be nice. I need to get a U-Haul and I need gas money. You know, they can. I think they'll be able to help me out with that. But go and find out what the hell's going on out there. I got to get I realize that people are going to die if I don't go out there and help them. If I don't prove to them that this works, my idea works. I've done it. I've done 3 times. It does work. I know it works. It works phenomenal. And better tents and better ice fishing shelters, shift pods, etc. And a lot of high value tents that are much more valuable than the tents that people live in out there. Walmart does not make good tents. Coleman does not make good tents. Okay, I had survived a tornado in a tent. A dome tent, a basically a North Face type BE25 tent, a geodesic dome tent. I did not even have stake down. Wind started coming up, the tent started vibrating. I reached up and grabbed the poles through the fabric. So my hands were wrapped around the fabric and the poles. I had my back arched up in the air with my full weight on both my hands underneath the back of my head. It was like that for about 20 minutes while that tornado went over. I was on the north. The tornado came from the north, and tents to the south of me, it passed. I went right over me or by me or whatever. Tents south of me disappeared. They never saw them again. That's how good that tent was. Never seen a square rabbit curled up to stay warm. Round sheds wind. Square goes away. You got a square tent, a square wall, flat wall, expected to be destroyed. You got a flat roof, expected to be destroyed by wind, rain, or snow, ice. So that's it. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. God bless. Love you. Please listen to me. Listen here and listen. Sarge, I got you. Yeah. All ears, yeah. Are you tracking? Tracking? Coke, yeah. Yeah, hey, Jim, how you doing? I didn't know if you're on there. Yeah. Here you go. Lashon Hara. Is it kind? Is it true? Is it uplifting? Is it necessary? Okay, the people doing all the evil talking out there, you're breaking the New Testament. And Paul said, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are a good report, think on these things. If you're speaking evil with somebody, you are breaking the Old Testament law and the New Testament law. And I'm telling you, I believe you're going to judge in danger of being judged, because Jesus himself said, out of your own mouth, your own words will come back to condemn you. Okay, read it. Read your Bible. You're breaking the Bible, Old and New Testament. All right. All right. God bless. Love you guys. Thank you. Get some rest. Yeah, I'll try, Sarge. Believe me. All right. They didn't earn it. I don't know. What they're thinking of me is none of my business. Bin Lago, I don't know who that is. Hey, God bless. Yeah. Can't remember who said it first. That's true. There's a good one for everybody to think of. Think on that one. What others think of me is none of my business. Yeah, I don't care. You know, I'm encouraging Lacey and Freddie to just flush it down the toilet where it belongs. So shit. Here's another thing. There's a really good book that you can find this online. The Laws of Wormwood and Dung by Stephen Jones. Very good booklet, about 20 pages, something like that. And he points out that what do you do with dung? When somebody throws shit at you, what are you supposed to do with it? You bury it. You put it on your tree. You're a tree, bury it. It'll produce fruit. It'll produce life. It'll produce, it's fertilizer. Shit is fertilizer. Don't throw it back. Don't try to throw shit back at people. Just bury it. Lacey, bury it. Freddie, bury it. Don't bury them. Bury the shit that they threw at you. Just forget it. In one ear, not the other. Just let God take care of it. God is your refuge and strength. Satan is attacking people. He's trying to disrupt. He's trying to create division. What are the 6 things? Day 7 of the Lord are abomination to God. The 7th one is he who sows discord among brethren. Okay. False tongue, lying tongue, the hands are quick to shed blood. But most people that are speaking evil are breaking about 4 or 5 of those, doing 4 or 5 of those 7 things that God hates. There are 6 things that God hates, 7 that are abomination to him. I think it's Proverbs 6:19. Look it up. Okay. Look it up and read it. And if you're guilty of those, stop doing it. I'm warning you. I'm advising you. I'm admonishing you. I'm asking you. I'm begging you for your own sake of your own life. Stop doing it. Read Psalm 105:15. He reproved kings for their sakes. In other words, when Abraham and Sarah went to stay with him king, and the guy, Abraham's like, hey, Sarah, you're so hot. You're so beautiful. This guy's going to want to take you. So tell him you're my sister. And the guy thinks about taking her, and God says to the king, don't do that, man. That's his wife. Why did you tell me she was your wife? Because I thought you were mad at me and kill me if you couldn't have her. That's how beautiful Sarah was. Think about that. Think about that. God don't hate beautiful women. Beautiful women are something in God's book. I got a sermon I want to do someday. All the seductresses of the messianic lineage in Matthew. Herbert Lockett has a book called All the Men of the Bible, All the Women of the Bible, All the Birds of the Bible, All the Ducks of the Bible, All the donkeys of the Bible, all the blah of the Bible. Mine would be all the seductresses of the messianic lineage in the Bible, or all the hot women of the Bible, So God's not opposed to hot women, beautiful women, not at all. Women that know how to, look at this. I'm just going to throw this out real quick. Tamar dressed up as a prostitute to seduce her father-in-law. Messianic lineage, Perez and Zerah. I could talk about those two lineages, bloodlines, for 3 hours. I did it one time for a friend of ours, Irish lady. She said, you should do that, go on a cruise. They'll pay your way, they'll pay for the cruise, they'll pay you. They don't just pay for your cruise, for a free cruise, they'll pay you very well to tell these stories. I was like, I ain't leaving the Ozark Plateau, sorry. Now I want to go leave the Ozark Plateau and go to North Carolina. Anyway, yeah, so Tamar. Joshua sends 2 men in to spy out Jericho, right? Who does he send? Salmon's one of them. I don't know the other guy. I don't think I mentioned the other guy, but one of them, Salmon. They need sustenance. They need to be secretive. They need to be sustenance, meaning they need to get something to eat. Sleep, they need to sleep safely. They need to do spy work. I'm just thinking SSS. And they're men with high testosterone levels. They need sex. Do they go to the church? The state church, 501c3? No, hell no. They go stay with a prostitute. They got good food. They're quiet. They're secretive. She takes care of them in more ways than one. She gives them food. She gives them. Anyway, Salmon marries her, and she is in the Messianic lineage. Salmon begot Boaz of Ruth. Salmon begot Boaz of Rahab. And Boaz begot Obed of Ruth. And Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot David the king. I mean, like 2 generations removed from David the king of Israel. All right. Ruth seduced Boaz. And then Bathsheba seduced the king of Israel. Yeah. The 4 hot, seductress women. So, all right, that's it. Sermon in a nutshell, baby. All right. Hallelujah. Oh, my gosh. Crazy. Why did he die? I don't know. Anyway. Keep your mouth shut. Don't talk bad about anybody. I'm going to just let it go, people. Let it go. And Travis, God bless you for the work you're doing, and don't worry about it. I got your back. Lacey, I've got your back. Randy, I got your back. I got your 6, okay? I'll stand by you. I mean, I'm not going to say anything to anybody. I'm just telling, I'm warning these people. I'm not naming any names because I don't know. The fact that Stephanie's made some really badass accusations and done some really evil things. As far as allegedly libel, slander, and something else. I don't know, another thing you're not supposed to do. All right, Randy, God bless everybody. Love you all. Bye-bye. Good night. 2 hours. Wow. That's crazy. Bye-bye. Goodbye. God knows.